Sorry, I forgot to do this, but let's start reading before I get too tired. It's 2 p.m. Let's read some more. I have some garbage, paper garbage. I forgot to close this. So let's read about this old GeForce graphic cards. What I would like to read about the capital in Bangladesh, Dhaka. I saw some YouTube video. They have some insane traffic. There's so many millions of people in Dhaka in Delhi. There's bicycle taxis, there's rickshaws, millions of rickshaws filling their streets and make the traffic super slow. And the buses is full, the local metro trains, they're even sitting on the roof. They're sitting on the roof of the trains. I think that's one of the most dense city in the whole world. Millions of poor people try to surviving every day. Probably millions of 100,000 of homeless children. There's a lot of social poorness. A lot of poorness we don't know from my country, Denmark. No, called poverty. We have poverty in my country, but that's something else. That's people not afford to buy food. Like we have the Christmas. They don't have money for food, they don't have toilet paper, kitchen towel, because they run out of money because they have a very low income. But real poor people, they not have a super low income. They have no home. They have like nothing. Yes, I'm talking about Bangladesh. Dhaka, Bangladesh, this small country. That's India, surrounded by India. That's one of the words I'd like to read about it later. But let's read, it's 2 p.m. So let's read a bit more, just go to bed. Go to bed and reading. So it's not, and now it's out of focus. The camcorder will get out of focus long period of time because it's not a good camcorder. So, but I just like to read this and relax. No, it's not an English vlog. So I need to go to my bed. Just like to reading a bit. Not every day, but sometimes.
GeForce 7 series. 4 Kepler-based GeForce cards with a model number of 7X0. See GeForce 700 series. The GeForce 7 series is the 7th generation of NVIDIA's GeForce line of graphics processing units. This was the last series available on AGP cards. A slightly modified GeForce 7 based card, based on the 7800 GTX, is present as the RSX Reality Synthesizer, which is present in the PlayStation 3. Features, Edit. The following features are common to all models in the GeForce 7 series except the GeForce 7100, which lacks GCAA, gamma-corrected anti-aliasing. 1 Intel Example 4.0. 2 Scalable Link Interface, SLI. 3 Turbo Cache. 4 NVIDIA Pure Video. The GeForce 7 supports hardware acceleration for H.264, but this feature was not used on Windows by Adobe Flash Player until the GeForce 8 series. GeForce 7100 series, Edit. The 7100 series was introduced on the 30th of August 2006 and is based on GeForce 6200 series architecture. This series supports only PCI Express interface. Only one model, the 7100GS, is available. Features. The 7100 series supports all of the standard features common to the GeForce 7 series provided it is using the ForceWare 91.47 driver or later releases, though it lacks OpenCL/CUDA support, and its implementation of Intel Example 4.0 lacks GCAA. The 7100 series does not support technologies such as high dynamic range rendering, HDR, and ultra shadow 2. GeForce 7100GS, Edit. Although the 7300 was originally intended to be the lowest budget GPU from the GeForce 7 lineup, the 7100GS has taken its place. As it is little more than a revamped version of the GeForce 6200 TC, it is designed as a basic PCIe solution for OEMs to use if the chipset does not have integrated video capabilities. It comes in a PCI Express graphics bus and up to 512 MB DDR2 of RAM. Performance specifications. 1 graphics bus, PCI Express. 2 memory interface, 64 bits. 3 memory bandwidth, 5.3 GB/s. 4 fill rate, 1.4 billion pixel/s. 5 vertex/s, 263 million. 6 memory type, DDR2 with TC. GeForce 7200 series, Edit. The 7200 series was introduced the 8th of October, 2006 and is based on G72 architecture. It is designed to offer a low-cost upgrade from integrated graphics solutions. This series supports only PCI Express interface. Only one model, the 7200GS, is available. Features. In addition to the standard GeForce 7 series features, the 7200 series supports the following features. 1 high dynamic range rendering. 2 ultra shadow 2. 3 CineFX 4.0 engine. However, it is important to note that 7200 series does not support Scalable Link Interface, SLI. GeForce 7200GS, Edit. The 7200GS has the same memory speed as the 7300GS, and the core frequency is the same as the 7300 LO. It has 2 pixel pipelines. NVIDIA stated that the 7200GS performance is 50% higher than the latest integrated graphics, It's the slowest card of the GeForce 7 series and of the GeForce 6 series, but supports HDR and NVIDIA Pure Video. NVIDIA GeForce 7200 GS Desktop Graphics Processing Unit was launched in January 2006. The GPU uses second-generation CineFX shading architecture, and it is manufactured on 90nm technological process. The card's graphics frequency is 450 MHz. It also has 2 pixel shaders, 4 texture units, together with 2 ROPs. The GeForce 7200 GS embeds 256 MB of DDR2 memory, utilizing 64-bit bus. The memory is clocked at 400 MHz, which results in 6.4 GB/s memory bandwidth. The GPU supports PCI Express 1.0 interface, and needs a single motherboard slot. GeForce 7300 series, edit. NVIDIA designed the 7300 series to be entry-level gaming video cards. 4 models were available: the 7300 GT, the 7300 GS, the 7300 LE, and the 7300 SE. This series was released to replace the older GeForce 6200 series. Features. In addition to the standard GeForce 7 series features, the 7300 series supports following advanced features: 1 high dynamic range rendering, 2 ultra shadow 2, 3 CineFX 4.0 engine. GeForce 7300 SE, edit. The 7300 SE uses the same core frequency and memory speed as the 7300 LE, and has 2 vertex and pixel shaders. In many ways, this card is actually inferior to the 7100 GS, although it still retains the HDR support. GeForce 7300 LE, edit. The 7300 LE stands for Light Edition, is a scaled-down version of the 7300 GS. It has DDR2 memory, and a slightly lower core clock speed, 450 MHz versus 550 MHz. It is only available in the PCI Express interface. Asus have produced a 7300 series card based on the 7300 LE core, running it at 580 MHz rather than 450 MHz. GeForce 7300 GS, edit. The 7300 GS the highest core clock speed of the 7300 series. Thus it has better performance than the 7300 SE/LE. GeForce 7300 GT, edit. The 7300 GT has a 128-bit memory interface and the highest memory bandwidth, but slightly lower 3D vertex rendering. GeForce 7500 series, edit. The 7500 series was only available to OEMs. GeForce 7500 LE, OEM, edit. The GeForce 7500 LE is an OEM GPU and is identical to the 7300 GS based on the G72 core. It has either 128 MB or 256 MB of dedicated video memory, however it also supports turbo cache, giving it up to 512 MB of video memory. It has DDR2 type memory and uses 64 bits memory interface. The card also has 550 MHz core clock speed and 263 MHz or 324 MHz memory clock speed, 526 MHz or 648 MHz effective. GeForce 7600 series, edit. NVIDIA announced immediate availability of the GeForce 7600 series on the 9th of March, 2006. Two models were made available, which were the GeForce 7600 GT and 7600 GS. This series was available with AGP and PCI Express interfaces, covering a wide range of market segments. This series was released to replace the older GeForce 6600 series. Features. In addition to the standard GeForce 7 series features, the 7600 series supports following advanced features. 1 high dynamic range rendering, 2 ultra shadow 2, 3 Cine FX 4.0 engine, 4 Extreme HD, GeForce 7600 GS, edit. On the 22nd of March, 2006, NVIDIA announced the immediate availability of the GeForce 7600 GS GPU targeted at the low-mid end. This new GPU assumed the place of the GeForce 6600 GT, which had been around for some time. The AGP version was introduced on the 21st of July, 2006. According to NVIDIA, this card is identical to the PCIe version other than the interface. In addition, the AGP version uses NVIDIA's AGP PCI bridge chip. Preliminary testing showed that the GeForce 7600 GS outperforms a GeForce 6600 GT and ATI's counterpart, the ATI Radeon X 1600 Pro. GeForce 7600 GT, edit. The 7600 GT is the high mid-range product in the 7 series family. The 7600 GT contains all the features of the GeForce 7 family. It was made to provide a GeForce 7 series card to the mass market. Some companies released AGP versions. It incorporates DDR3 memory. GeForce 7650 series, edit. Much like the 7500 series, the 7650 GS was only available to OEMs. GeForce 7650 GS, OEM, edit. The GeForce 7650 GS was limited to a few OEM cards only. Not much is known about this card, other than that it uses the ATNM process and uses DDR2 memory, with examples having 256 MB of DDR2 RAM. GeForce 7800 series, edit. The 7800 series was designed to deliver exceptional performance and was targeted towards the high-end market segment. This series was discontinued and replaced with the 7900 series in early 2006. A total of 4 models were available: GeForce 7800 GTX 512, GeForce 7800 GTX, GeForce 7800 GT, and GeForce 7800 GS. Features. In addition to the standard GeForce 7 series features, the 7800 series supports following advanced features: 1 high dynamic range rendering, 2 ultra shadow 2, 3 Cine FX 4.0 engine, GeForce 7800 GT, edit. The GeForce 7800 GT is the second GPU in the series, launched on the 11th of August 2005 with immediate retail availability. It has 20 pixel pipelines, 7 vertex shaders, 16 ROPs and a 400 MHz core clock, 500 MHz memory clock, 1 GHz effective, using GDDR3 memory. The GeForce 7800 GT had been introduced as a more affordable alternative to the 7800 GTX. At the time it was considered the performance/cost champion of video cards. GeForce 7800 GSAGP, edit. On the 2nd of February, 2006, NVIDIA announced the 7800 GS as the first AGP video card in the GeForce 7 series lineup, an AGP version of the high-end GeForce 7 series. This card was promoted by several hardware enthusiasts as the last high-ended AGP card in existence. It has 16 pixel shader units instead of the 20 that the 7800 GT has, but still benefits from the optimizations of the other 7 series GPUs enjoy. Clock speeds are 375 MHz for the GPU and 1200 MHz for the GDDR3 memory. According to all benchmark tests, the performance of this card is faster than the GeForce 6800 GT and GeForce 6800 Ultra. Different vendors may deviate from the stated specification. It serves to provide a great upgrade path for those with high-end AGP systems who don't want to switch to a new high-end PCI Express system. There was a special golden sample release from Gamewood that was called 7800 GS Plus, or officially Bliss 7800 GS 512 MB GS Plus, that had default clock speeds of 450 MHz core and 1250 MHz memory. Unlike a standard 7800 GS, the 7800 GS Plus actually used a 7900 GT GPU that had the full 24 pixel shaders instead of the regular 16 pixel shaders that are normally found on a 7800 GS video card. Gamewood had previously released a Bliss 7800 GS 512 MB GS card that was based on a 7800 GT but utilized the AGP bus. Its external appearance and name make it nearly indistinguishable from the 7900 GT-based Bliss 7800 GS 512 MB GS Plus. Litech produced a similar card with 256 MB memory. In late 2006, Gamewood released a third 7800 GS card with 20 pixel shaders running at 500 MHz core and 1400 MHz memory, called the Bliss GS-GLH. This card is also based on the 7900 GS core. GeForce 7800 GTX, edit. The GeForce 7800 GTX, codenamed G70, and previously NV47, was the first GPU in the series, launched on the 22nd of June, 2005 with immediate retail availability. The GeForce 7800 GTX supported the highest specification DirectX 9 vertex and pixel shaders, at the time, version 3.0. It was natively a PCI Express chip. SLI support had been retained and improved from the previous generation. According to PC World, the 7800 GTX was one of the most complex processors ever designed. The GPU had 302 million transistors. The Athlon 64X2 4800 Plus CPU has 233.2 million transistors, along with 24 pixel and 8 vertex shaders. It was succeeded by the 7900 GTX on the 9th of March, 2006. The PlayStation 3's reality synthesizer is based on the 256 MB model of the 7800 GTX, but with slight modifications. GeForce 7800 GTX 512, edit. The 512 MB version of the GeForce 7800 GTX was released on the 14th of November, 2005. The card features more than simply an increased frame buffer from 256 MB to 512 MB. The card features a much improved core clock speed of 550 MHz versus 430 MHz, 27.9% increase, and fast 1.1 ns GDDR3 memory clocked at 1.7 GHz versus 1.2 GHz, 41.7% increase, when compared to the original version. Like ATI's X1800 XT, the addition of another 256 MB of memory, and to a lesser extent, the increased clock speeds, have raised the heat and power output significantly. To combat this, the GeForce 7800 GTX 512 sports a much larger yet quieter dual-slot cooling solution when compared to the original 256 MB version. GeForce 7900 Series, Edit. NVIDIA officially announced availability of the GeForce 7900 series on the 9th of March, 2006. Replacing the 7800 series, NVIDIA's 7900 series was a product refresh and not a new generation of NVIDIA's GPU, running at 650 MHz officially. This series was meant to support mainly PCI Express interface, but some companies released also AGP versions. A total of 5 models have been developed and are available: 7900 GX2, 7900 GTX, 7900 GT, 7900 GTO and 7900 GS. Features. In addition to the standard GeForce 7 series features, the 7900 series supports following advanced features: 1. High dynamic range rendering, 2. Ultra Shadow 2, 3. CineFX 4.0 engine, 4. Extreme HD. GeForce 7900 GS, Edit. Introduced during the fall of 2006, at a MSRP of $199, the 7900 GS filled the gap between the mid-end GeForce 7600 GT and the high-end GeForce 7900 GT. The card was unofficially launched the 23rd of August by Woot as a white box OEM. However, the product's company, MSI, made claims that these cards were stolen from MSI during transportation and sold to Woot. The referenced MSI customer notice has been changed to remove explicit references to Woot. As of March 2007, NVIDIA had discontinued production of a number of GeForce 6 and 7 series products, including the 7900 GS. The GeForce 7900 GS has 20 pixel processors, 7 vertex processors, 2 5/6 bits memory bus, and comes clocked at approximately 450 MHz /1320 MHz for core /memory, which should provide slightly lower performance than the 7900 GT. The GeForce 7900 GS is powered by the graphics chip code-named G71, thus, shares the same advantages as the G71 did over its immediate predecessor G70, dual-link DVI outputs, reduced power consumption, higher performance. GeForce 7900 GT, Edit. This video card was released on the 9th of March, 2006. Like the 7900 GTX, it uses the G71 GPU that is produced at 90 nm. It too offers all the features of the 7800 series as well as an attractive performance to price ratio. GeForce 7900 GTX, edit. The GeForce 7900 GTX is a 90nm produced G70, named G71